Some footballers become stars slowly, then there are players like Jude Bellingham who seem to skip entire stages of a normal career. At 16 he was a professional, at 17 he moved to Germany, at 19 he captained Borussia Dortmund, and at 20 he joined Real Madrid, took Zinedine Zidane's old number 5 shirt and started scoring as if the Bernabeu had always been his home. Within months, people were asking whether Jude Bellingham could become the best player in the world. But football moves fast. One brilliant season creates expectations, expectations create pressure, and suddenly being excellent is no longer enough. So where is Jude Bellingham now? Are we watching a future Ballon d'Or winner or a superstar carrying impossible expectations? This is Jude Bellingham's story. Jude Bellingham was born on June 29, 2003 in Stourbridge, England. Coaches soon noticed his confidence, maturity and willingness to compete against older, stronger players. He joined Birmingham City's academy as a child. In August 2019, at 16 years and 38 days old, he became the youngest first-team player in club history. He was playing championship football against experienced professionals fighting for contracts and careers. And Bellingham did not look afraid, he looked like he belonged. That became the pattern of his career. Whenever football placed him in an environment that should have been too big, he adjusted immediately. Major English clubs wanted him, but Bellingham chose Borussia Dortmund, a club known for trusting young talent. He was not going there simply to learn, he was going there to play. In 2020, at 17 years old, he moved from Birmingham to Germany. The level rose again, Bundesliga football, Champions League nights, a new country and new tactical demands. Once again, he adapted. What separated him was not one spectacular skill, but how much he could do. He could tackle, press, carry the ball, win duels, create chances, and arrive in the penalty area. Most importantly, he wanted responsibility. Some young players hide when a match becomes difficult. Bellingham searches for the ball and wants to influence what happens next. By the 2022-2023 season, Dortmund depended on him. At 19, he wore the captain's armband and was named the Bundesliga's Player of the Season. Then Real Madrid entered the picture. It is a club where Champions League trophies feel like an expectation and two poor matches can create a crisis. The white shirt can turn talent into legend. It can also expose anyone who is not ready. In the summer of 2023, Madrid signed Bellingham and gave him Zidane's old number 5 shirt. That could have crushed a 20-year-old. Instead, he exploded. He scored on his league debut. Then came more goals, late winners, and that celebration, arms stretched wide as Madrid supporters roared his name. Carlo Ancelotti gave him freedom to move forward. Madrid had lost Karim Benzema, so Jude attacked the spaces behind the forwards. The result was devastating. Bellingham would begin deep, then appear inside the box at the perfect moment. He was not a striker, but he was finishing like one. Then came his first league Clásico against Barcelona. Madrid were losing when Bellingham smashed in an equalizer from outside the area. In stoppage time, he scored again to win the match. It felt like the ending of a movie. His first Madrid season ended with 23 goals in 42 appearances. Real won La Liga, the Spanish Super Cup, and the Champions League. Bellingham was voted the club's player of the season and finished third in the Ballon d'Or. At 21, he had reached a level most players never touch. And that is where the story became complicated. Once you become that good that quickly, people stop judging you by normal standards. Bellingham had created a version of himself that was almost impossible to match. If he scored fewer goals, people asked what had gone wrong. Then Kylian Mbappé arrived, Madrid's structure changed, and Bellingham was asked to play deeper and cover more ground. His scoring naturally dropped from the extraordinary level of his first season. The debates began immediately. Was Madrid wasting his attacking talent? Had defenders figured him out? Was Mbappé changing his role? The truth was less dramatic. Bellingham had never been a striker, and that scoring rate was always difficult to maintain. With more firepower around him, he had to evolve again. He was also carrying a physical problem. In November 2023, he dislocated his left shoulder. For months he played with heavy strapping, but the problem kept returning. After the 2025 Club World Cup, he underwent surgery. Some criticism of his form had ignored what his body was dealing with. He recovered, then produced the greatest international tournament of his career. At the 2026 World Cup, Bellingham became England's difference maker. He scored twice as England beat Mexico 3-2 in the round of 16. Against Norway, he equalized just before halftime, then struck in extra time to send England into the semi-finals. Argentina ended that dream with 2 late goals, but Bellingham was not finished. England beat France 6-4 in the third-place match. Bellingham scored in stoppage time, ending the tournament with 7 goals and the bronze boot. For a midfielder, it was extraordinary, but goals still do not completely explain Jude Bellingham. He experiences football emotionally. He celebrates tackles, confronts opponents, talks constantly, and demands more from teammates. That personality is part of what makes him brilliant. It is also part of what makes him controversial. Some see leadership and competitive obsession. Others see arrogance and complaining. Every reaction becomes a clip and every argument becomes a debate. That is what happens when a footballer becomes a global character. So where is Jude Bellingham now? As of August 2026, he is 23 and entering his 4th season at Real Madrid. In his first 3, he made 140 appearances and scored 46 goals. He returned from the World Cup to a new era under Jose Mourinho. On August 22nd, he opened the new league season with a powerful header against Espanyol. Madrid won, 2-1. So no, Bellingham has not disappeared or fallen off. He has entered a harder stage where talent is no longer the question. Now the question is legacy. Can he stay healthy, keep evolving, lead Real Madrid, captain England, and eventually win the Ballon d'Or? Perhaps the most fascinating question is simpler. What exactly will Jude Bellingham become? Is he a number 8, a number 10, a box-to-box midfielder, or a second striker? Perhaps his greatest strength is becoming whatever a game requires. Needs someone to carry the ball forward? He can do it. Needs someone arriving in the penalty area? He can do it. Needs someone to defend a lead, win a duel, or score in a World Cup knockout match? He can do that too. Football has seen brilliant young talents fade through injury or stop developing when their physical advantages disappear. The truly great players reinvent themselves. Ronaldo changed, Messi changed, Modric changed, Zidane changed. The game forces every superstar to evolve. Bellingham's challenge will be the same. His body will not always let him cover every blade of grass. Goals, managers, and systems will come and go. His understanding of the game must keep growing. Beneath the hype is a midfielder who has played above his age level almost his entire life. 16 at Birmingham, 17 at Dortmund, 19 wearing the captain's armband, 20 becoming a superstar at Real Madrid, 21 finishing 3rd in the Ballon d'Or, and 23 scoring 7 goals at the World Cup. His career moved so quickly that we talk about him like a veteran, but many midfielders do not peak until 27, 28 or later. The player who won the Champions League and scored 7 times at the World Cup may not be the finished product. Perhaps we are still watching the beginning. And maybe his greatest opponent is not Barcelona, Manchester City, or another midfielder. Maybe it is expectation. Once football decides that you are destined to become the best player in the world, being one of the best can feel like a disappointment. Bellingham must carry that pressure through every Clásico, Champions League night, and England tournament. But if his career has taught us anything, pressure does not make Jude Bellingham hide. It makes him demand the ball. The kid from Birmingham became a Dortmund leader, a Real Madrid superstar, and England's World Cup difference maker. Now comes the hardest transformation of all, from superstar to legend. Whether he completes it will be decided over the next decade, but Bellingham does not make us ask, where did he go? He makes us ask something far more interesting, and how high can he actually go? At 23, he has achieved more than most footballers do in a lifetime. Somehow, it still feels like chapter 1. So, what do you think? Will Jude Bellingham win the Ballon d'Or? Can he become a Real Madrid legend alongside names like Zidane, Modric, and Cristiano Ronaldo? Or have the expectations around him already become too high? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Where Are They? On this channel, we look beyond the headlines to discover where famous athletes and personalities went, what changed, and where they are today. Like the video, turn on notifications, and subscribe so you do not miss the next story. This is Where Are They? Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.